Let's talk team first, mate. You got a solid 17, all boys good shape, ready to go.
Yeah, we've got a solid 17. I think pretty much the same side as last week. Jeremiah Powax is back this week. He's been out for a couple of weeks now, so he pulled through good on Tuesday and Thursday, so he's back. But other than that, same team as last week.
Where's he slotting in at, mate?
He'll just go straight back and standoff. So it's the same old game from him, talk a lot, and that's the main thing. Plenty of chatter from Wax and gets the boys around the park.
In regards to coming into the first TV game, does that change the approach for any of the boys inside the Prems, coming into a TV match? Is this the time where they all really start putting the rubber to the road?
I don't think it's so much the TV match. I think it's the first game of the second round day. So we've had a whole first round to gel together, and now it's starting to you start counting games down to finals football. So it's more about the first game of second round, but TV's always a bonus for some of the boys.
In regards to how Point Chevalier Pirates are tracking, mate, are you happy with where they are on the ladder at this point?
Yeah, we're happy as long as we're up the top half of the table. We're happy, but we've got a lot of improving, and today and next week's going to be some tough games coming up.
In regards to taking Mount Albert on today, mate, what's the strategy?
They play off a lot of momentum. If we can stop their their first 1 and 2 tackles off the back of a kick, then it makes it hard for their big boys to go forward. So we'll be looking to shut their middles down and take care of the first and second tackle.
Awesome, mate. Well, listen, I'm going to let you get back to watching a wee bit of the reserves game.
Yep.
I understand Mount Albert is undefeated, so this will be a big match for the Point boys today.
Oh, yeah, didn't know that one.
Anyway, mate, hey, thanks for your time and best luck for the rest of the season.
Too much, brother. Cheers, bro.
With the Premier Coach of Mount Albert Lions for game of the round. Mate, first game, second round, Willie. Happy with where the boys are at on the ladder at this time?
A bit of a mixed bag, really, so just after consistency. Had some good halves and patches and that, so just after consistency, really, and then I think we'll be better as a group.
In regards to your group, your top 17, are they all good or are you carrying injuries?
No, we're pretty healthy, actually. Yeah, pretty healthy. We miss out on Thomas Iwaki's over with the Warriors, but other than that, we're pretty healthy.
Obviously, with a big clash today, the two big juggernaut teams. What's the strategy for today to take on the Pirates?
Obviously, they've got threats across the park, and obviously a lot of familiarity with the players that they've got. So I guess controlling the ruck so that eliminates Tavita Latu in their house, getting on the front foot. So we've talked about that, so that'd be a key area for us to focus on.
This week, you got a big challenge. Who have you got next week, mate? I can't remember.
Howard.
Papakura,
yeah.
Oh, Papakura. So that's going to be another route challenge, and you get an opportunity to pull that one back.
Yep.
Has any of that ever come into your thoughts, or not really? It's all about today's match and then next week and next week.
Oh, the way it's panned out, obviously we've got a big month ahead of us in terms of the top tier of the competition, in the next 4 weeks. So we'll focus on this week, as normal, but we know that there's threats later on in the competition as well.
And in for today's match, mate, who are you looking to stand up for you to lead the Lions home?
Oh, I guess it starts with our middlemen. We've got to get some dominance there. I'm pretty sure if we get some dominance there, that we can put our mark on the game.
Cool, mate. Well, listen, I'm going to let you get back to the reserves game.
Cool.
I sort of just kidnapped you.
Yeah.
Good luck for today's match and also for the rest of the season, bro.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Ron.
So we're down at the SAS Fox Memorial Game of the Round. We're with Tim, who is the director of SAS Sports Apparel. Tim, first game in for the season for you?
Yeah, fantastic. I've just got down here. The sun's just starting to shine. The place looks fantastic. You guys have just done a marvellous job. The signage is just delighted for the first TV game. So we're delighted to be involved, as you're well aware. And that place looks done yourself proud and us proud. So thank you for that.
Oh, pleasure, mate. And also, in regards to the SAS College, we had our first game out at Westlake here, and looks like SAS got a very strong brand around the schools as well.
Yeah, exactly. The SAS brand for the colleges is very important to us, and that college competition, you guys are driving nicely. And Auckland Rugby League, the amount of teams we've got in this year is, I think, more than last year, and more than the year before. So it's certainly grown. And hopefully they'll push our brand along inwards. So again, fantastic.
Awesome, mate. Look, I know I've hijacked your sideline. I'm going to let you get back to the game, and we'll catch up with you through the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Well, let's have a look at some of the highlights of Māori Television's coverage of this great clash, a repeat of the grand final of last season. Paul Tully, after 5 minutes, surging across the line, 6-0 in favour of the Lions.
And it took 20 minutes, but then here he was there. Satai going across there, and a similar try there. Big, strong player there. Kept driving his way even though he was nice and low, and was strong enough to get over and score the second try.
10 minutes later, in that all-important try just before the half-time break, saw Makawi. He did some really good things coming on as a replacement, and then got across the line. That was converted, 12-6 at the half-time break. Here we are in the second half action. This is a super try, plenty of hands, and across to Willie Peace, who finishes in the corner.
That's right. There we look at Tere Tuitama losing the ball there, and there's just quick reactions there by first young Wallace. Then over the back there, Henry Dunn finishing it off there. Samisi Fitu, as well as Willie Peace to finish off that two-pointer.
This try comes off the back of young Zay Wallace. He gets a grubber kick into the end goal. Everyone thought it had gone over the dead ball line, but Dylan Rota did it. He chased, he scores, and that kicked the score out to 16-12 as the Lions making the Pirates pay.
Yeah, that was a lovely work there by the young half again. Zay Wallace getting out that wide ball, face ball out to Dylan. Dylan was just a little bit of a dummy, straightened up, and the old show and go. And he stands up Arden McCarthy and young Ricky Prescott to go across in that left-hand corner.
Had a good game today. Got a game today, Dylan Rota. Sorry to interrupt. Let's have a look at this last try from the Lions. And it's a beauty. Look at the offload here. Keeping it alive is done. Out it comes to Palavi. Out it comes to Samisi for 2 steps inside or to Nuku to score. And at that stage, 26 points to 12. You thought that the Pirates were done and dusted.
But next minute, here comes the point share Pirates here. Dylan Moses there taking the ball forward. And he actually scored as he went down to ground there. He reached out, and then you see him clearly put the ball down. So well done, Dylan Moses.
Jonathan Carl converts. This try too gave them a chance right at the back end. Here's the scooping pass across the top. Moses shows he's more than a one-trick pony. Up he goes. Look at the climb for Silas Solomona, and he is in to score. Then it was down to the last minutes on the wire. They couldn't quite get there. Here's the kick across field. They needed another try at the back end that couldn't come. And in the end, it's the Lions who beat the Pirates by 26-22.
Just coming off the end of the SAS Fox Memorial Game of the Round. And mate, first thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was a tough game out there. Pretty physical. It always is against Mount Albert. But I'm saying that, you know, we're our own worst enemies. The amount of penalties we gave away, the amount of ball we turned over. You know, you're never going to compete against a side like Mount Albert like that.
In your view, is it better to have lost here now and to take learnings from this working into the back part of the season?
Oh, it's never good to lose, bro. You don't want to be losing games, but especially first game of the round. But yeah, you know, that might be a good thing. It's better now than later on. You know, we can address our silly mistakes now, and then you know, look forward to next week against Crew, another tough game.
Pretty close battle at half-time, mate. What was the message to the boys?
Just look after the football, you know, we're probably myself to blame the most. We're going sideways a bit too much. You know, if we had stayed in the middle a bit longer and won their big boys out and looked after the football, we would have given ourselves a chance.
Well, look, commiserations for today. Best of luck for the rest of the season, mate, and I'll probably see you in the next couple of weeks.
Sweet as, Troy. Too much, brother.
So with the captain of the mighty Mount Albert Lions and just coming off match of the round, mate, first thoughts?
Yeah, no, it's always a tough game against Punchi for our local rivalry, so no, it's always good, yeah.
Everything went according to game plan today?
Yeah, everything went according to game plan. We completed our sets, got good kicks to the corners, and just a bit vulnerable sometimes with quick blade balls, and they're getting quick blade balls and rolling through our middle, so something to improve on for next week training.
Being such a tight clash, mate, what was the conversation with the coach at half-time?
Just to complete our sets and just try to discipline with on D, try not to easy penalties, yeah.
And in regards to the rest of the season, you're happy as captain in regards to where you're sitting on the ladder, now moving into the second part of the SAS Fox?
Yeah, happy as captain, and yeah, still got a lot to work on with the boys, but we're now gelling together and hopefully come a bit better on round 2 in the counts. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Well, listen, best of luck for the rest of the season and congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Yeah, thanks.